Alright everybody, if you don't recognize this, make sure to check out my video from a couple of weeks ago where I found this firearm where it had been buried on my parents' property for over 2 decades.
Dude. No, wait, this is a...
Today we're going to take a look at it and see what it's going to take to get the thing back together and looking new. So first steps first is to get 20 years worth of mud and rust off this thing. It's in surprisingly good condition considering it was about 100 yards from the ocean, so I would have expected it to be more corroded. It's actually looking in pretty good shape. For some reason this gun was packed full of sunflower seeds. It appears that something was using it for storage. Go ahead and pull off the CO2 cap. And luckily it looks like there was nothing in here, so even less things to corrode inside of this. And we'll strip off the charge handle. And then we can take off the grip frame. We had to carefully remove these nuts with an impact driver. They were very thin, very close to stripping out. And once we get the grip frame off, then we can take off the internals of the gun. And here's where I found another part that's not going to be reusable. This spring is going to need to be replaced. That should be easy enough to find. Then we'll take the rest of the internals out and take all the end caps off, including the sight and everything. So now we can go ahead and clean up the body of this gun. So since the body of this gun is all just tubes, we can just run wire brushes down this to clean it all out. And then we can wire wheel the outside of it and give it a fresh coat of paint. And then you can see how bad this grip frame is. It's completely corroded away. There's no trigger guard, there's no bottom of the grip frame. This is really going to be our biggest hurdle fixing this gun up. I actually looked online and these aren't available anymore. There's a couple of listings where back decades ago they were for sale, but they're all out of stock now. So I have an idea. What I'm actually going to do is 3D print a replacement. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the picture from the online listing, load it into Fusion360, which is a CAD program, and I'll just trace it. Then I can extrude it to the thickness the grip frame is by just measuring the thickest part of the grip frame where it's intact. And then I can measure the holes in the center of the grip frame that it needs and input those into CAD, subtract those, and subtract the front profile of the grip frame to accept the tube body of the gun. Then we can go ahead and print our first test grip frame. We'll go ahead now and swap these parts from the original rusted, corroded grip frame over to the new 3D printed grip frame.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild it. We have the technology.
Everything looks pretty good.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
Except here I start to notice that the holes in the actual grips don't quite match up with the trigger pin, so I actually have to move it less than 1/2 millimeter. So we'll make that adjustment in CAD, which is really easy, and then we'll go ahead and print another one. Now these take a little bit over 4 hours to print, and they don't cost very much to print either, so it's fine to do a couple of prototypes. This is a force one. And now see how the grip fits. The grip fits perfect.
The fact that you've got replica written down the side of your gun.
Now with the intact grip frame, we can go ahead and reassemble the gun. Reassemble the internals. And now we can attach the grip frame. And then finally the pump, or the charge handle. And there it is. It's all back together now.
And boom goes the dynamite.
That's pretty impressive. I'm pretty happy with the way this came out. There's been a bunch of projects I've used my 3D printer to really bail me out on, but this is probably one of the best use cases for the 3D printer. This grip frame, not only is it not available, so it's basically invaluable to me, and the only other way to do this would have been to buy a completely new firearm and pull the part out of it, and that would have cost more than the 3D printer. So this is really a great situation to 3D print the missing part we need and get this project rolling along. Alright guys, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and commenting below. Check out these other videos, including this other video on this project if you haven't seen it already. I'll catch you guys next time.